Right, so we're going to make another Christmas card. A nice, easy one. It could be done with the kids, grandkids, whatever. I've got a card blank, a square one. I'll cut a piece of paper just a little bit smaller and I'll glue that on. If you haven't got any patterned paper, enough patterned paper for the background, don't worry. You can leave your card blank, just white, and just do a little border with a fine liner, which I'll show you later. So we'll set that aside at the moment. I've got some craft card, brown card. I love craft coloured card. But you can do this with whatever colours you've got and whatever paper you've got. You could even do it with leftover plainish wallpaper if that's all you've got. You've got something like a middle out of a roll of paper or something, a jam jar lid, anything that's round, and you can either draw round or inside. Because I'm having part of my card as craft card, I need to draw a circle on the inside, just with pencil. I will then cut that out as neatly as you can. I've already done one so that you can see. So we'll get rid of that one. So you've got your brown craft card circle. I then did the same thing again with a dotty paper. You can see I've cut that out of there. You can do this with patterned paper. I like dotty paper because it's going to be a Christmas pudding. And I think that looks like the fruit in the Christmas pudding. So, you'll see on the back of my craft piece of card, I've just drawn with a pencil a wavy line. Doesn't need to be perfect at all. You're just going to draw a wavy line like that. You can go as deep or as narrow as you want, but this is going to be the custard on the top of your Christmas pudding. Do it about halfway along because then you will get two pieces to use. If you do it at the top, you'll get a big piece here and you'll have to cut it again. So we're just going to cut along our line. Now you notice when I'm cutting, I'm moving the paper rather than the scissors, and that makes it easier to get a nice smooth cut. Right, so we've got the two halves. So on our card, I'll do it without the topping paper on. Let's see. I'll have that there. And you don't want to see this pencil line, so you're going to turn it over so that the pencil line isn't there. And can you see that's the custard on our Christmas pudding? So pop that over there for the moment. The other one looks just the same, just as good. Now we want some holly to decorate at the top of our Christmas pudding. So I've just got this scrap of green card. You could use plain green, patterned, whatever you've got. And I've made myself a little template for a holly leaf. All I did this freehand. I just got a pencil or a fine liner and two little marks like that. And then you're going to go in and in again, in again, and then we're going to join the two lines at the bottom. So that is like a holly leaf shape. I then cut that out. You see I've done both these freehand, but they're very, very similar. And I use this as a template to draw round for my holly leaves, and for each card you need 2 holly leaves. Draw on the back of your paper because then you won't see your pencil marks. And we need 2. So we're going to, if you move it, you can just reposition it again like that. There we are. We'll keep our template over there so we don't lose it. And then you just cut your little leaves out. If you didn't want to do this, you can actually get sequins in the shape of leaves. And you could use those. They're usually silver, gold, red, green, whatever. And you could use those instead. They're not very easy to get hold of, but you can get them. So that's your first holly leaf. And as you can see, I'm not being ultra careful. As long as you've got the shape of a holly leaf, they don't have to be perfectly exactly the same, because 2 holly leaves are never ever the same in nature. There we are. So we've got 2 holly leaves. There we are. So 1, 2 holly leaves. Now, if I was going to leave this as is without the paper backing, what you can do is you can just do a doodled border. And as I've said before, you don't have to be perfect. You can do a wiggly line like this. Because then the kids can do it and it doesn't matter if they go wrong. They're not trying to draw a straight line, which is very difficult. There we are. So you can have your line like that. Just a couple of little dashes like that. And I'll stick this together and show you what to use for the berries on the holly and the finishing touches. Right, so we've got our Christmas pudding, we've got the sauce, we've got the little leaves, and I've found my red sequins, which are just ideal for little red berries. A nice finishing touch for the sauce, the pudding and the leaves is just to do a little bit of doodling round the edge. It depends on the age of your children. If you're doing this with the children, it might be too fiddly for them. You can leave it without. It's absolutely fine. Adults that are doing this is just rather a nice touch. And it just makes it look a little bit finished, more finished off. And you're just doing little lines to look like stitching on the sauce, which is the top there, and all the way around your Christmas pudding as well. You will cover a little bit of this up, obviously, when you put your sauce on, but it's easier to do it all the way around to set off with. Just turn my pencil. Hopefully you can see this. And you can see I'm not measuring the little lines, I'm just doing it very freehand. There we are. The holly leaves, they are quite small, but you can still do a similar thing on them. And this is just a fine liner from, I think it was from the Works. But if you haven't got a fine liner, you can do it with a black biro pen. Whatever you've got. Use what you've got. So we go around like that, and my holly leaves will be like that, so I'm just going to put a little dashed line part way up to look like the centre vein of the leaf. There we are. So we'll just get our glue. I'll just show you what it would look like if we put a topper on. Just ignore the lines underneath, but if you'd put another piece of paper on, this would be what it looks like. So if you'd put another piece of paper on, that would be what it looked like, but I actually quite like it without, so we'll glue it on. Now you'll position this depending on if you're going to put a sticker on saying Merry Christmas or whatever. Let's see, I think we'll have it that way up. Remembering to leave enough room at the top for your leaves to come up a little bit. And then on the back of your, what is the sauce? The brandy or rum sauce. As long as it covers the top half of this, it's fine. And it will meet there because you've cut your circles the same size. Then we have our little holly leaves. If you want to, you can put double-sided tape underneath your holly leaves, but you can just do them flat like this. Put them to come from the middle at the top, like that. And then I'm just going to put a couple of blobs of glue just for my sequins, which are the holly berries. I may put a third one on. I like threes. There we are. So that is our simple Christmas card. Hope you like that, and I hope you give it a go. And as I say, you can put a sticker on Merry Christmas, and you can use whatever papers you've got. You can make it vintagey and grungy, or you can make it modern and contemporary.